Stupid science. Stupid science.
Science. Pew, pew, pew.
Welcome
to Stupid Science. It's JD Adler, Lisa Booker. We are here for another great podcast to laugh
Stupid
and learn.
Science.
It is our post-Ian episode, and we are still standing. Have not been blown over.
We got pretty lucky here in Key West. Some people got some property damage.
Yeah.
Some trees suffered a bit.
So people got harmed.
But for the most part, we got pretty well. We didn't get that bad off here in Key West.
Yeah.
Fortunately, for our listeners here, we are recording this the day after Ian has passed out of Florida. It's just leaving Jacksonville now.
Yep.
And
good riddance.
a lot of suffering across Florida. And you can hear, all the details are there on all the main media reports. We're here to try to distract people with a little laughter and a little knowledge.
The laugh and learn.
Laugh and learn with JD and Lisa.
Laugh with us, laugh at us. It's all the same.
But our thoughts are out there with our neighbors all across the state, and hopefully they'll be able to pull through this all in one piece when it's all over. But in the meantime, we're going to try and bring some laughter to our community here.
Oh, if only people in Florida did some crazy things lately that we could talk about.
Never fails.
Huh?
Never fails to disappoint the Florida men and women of our community. We're going to start off right
Florida
here in Monroe County.
Close to home.
For our Stupid Criminal segment. Monroe County Fire Chief.
Don't look too far when looking for stupid criminals.
Monroe County's Fire Rescue's Chief Flight Nurse.
That sounds like an important position.
It
with
is
a lot of responsibility.
It is, in fact. It's a very important job. There, she takes care of the Trauma Star, those helicopters that fly people from here, where our hospital is basically a clinic in a third world country, and flies them up to Miami, where there's our real hospital.
A life-saving service.
Exactly. So they provide that incredibly important service.
Yeah.
And she's the chief flight nurse, Miss. What is her name? I just saw her name a second ago. Oh, here she is. Linda Jane Ruzanowski.
Okay.
Age 56, the chief flight nurse on the Trauma Star helicopter. She was apparently, this is all alleged, of course, it's still at this point. They've now made 2 arrests. The sheriff's office down here in Monroe County has made 2 arrests so far. They've arrested the chief flight nurse, Ms. Ruzanowski.
LJ.
And her alleged partner in crime, Damian Roberto Suarez, age 44.
What possibly could they have been arrested for? Hoarding the peanuts on that her helicopter flight?
That's exactly it. Hoarding. Mr. Suarez was a paramedic.
Okay.
And between the two of them, they were smuggling the drugs that were supposed to be on the flight crew that were there for the horribly traumatized people that needed to get to Miami quickly.
Yeah.
They were taking medicine off of that flight, smuggling it, and then altering the logs to make it appear, or theoretically to make it appear. But this is where the stupid criminal part comes in.
Okay.
Because
at this point it's just criminal.
This is criminal. They're just stealing drugs and reselling them elsewhere.
Bad.
But apparently, the reason they got caught was because although they did alter the logs, they did not alter the logs in such a way that you could not tell drugs had been missing from the package. So they discovered drugs were missing because the logs didn't match up with the inventory and with what was happening.
Why did you take the time to alter
why bother altering the logs at all if you're not going if they don't match up? If they don't hide your crime, what was the point? All you did was create another crime, obstruction of justice, which is what the paramedic is being charged with.
Are you paying attention, criminals that are listening? Thou shalt not.
Committed a second crime, but the purpose of which was to hide the first crime, but he failed to actually hide the first crime.
Sure did. I'm going to erase this 5 and make it a 4, even though when you do a count, you're only going to count 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And that's how they got caught.
How did they catch up with me?
So they've been arrested. She was let go when the word first came out about the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
She was relieved of her duties, to which she responded by quitting her job, which I found particularly. That's the chutzpah right there.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't fire me for committing crimes. I quit.
I'm done. Head held high. It's just a coincidence that I've decided to no longer show up in your establishment. A good day. I say good day to you, sir.
So that's.
How could you?
At this time, let's be clear. These are all allegations. Nothing has been proven in a court of law.
Right. This is all allegedly funny.
This is all allegedly funny and alleged crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. These are all innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
Both Mr. Suarez and
What do I
Ms.
know?
Ruzinkowski.
But it really sounds like you did it.
Ruzinowski.
LJ, it's so much easier.
What else is going on? Up in Ocala, Florida.
Okay.
So according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office there, they arrested this 19-year-old.
You pre-chuckled.
So there's a drug deal going on. A bunch of teenagers, early 20s, right? Some of them have money, some of them have drugs. They go to a car to meet in the car to do the exchange.
Okay.
This is not tons of marijuana. This is a bunch of teenagers getting some drugs they need, right?
Okay.
Apparently, someone in the crime decides that they're too clever, and they pull out a gun. And then there's a struggle, and somebody ends up dead. And guns are going off, and one of the guys gets away. One of the people who was there, one of the 19-year-old Jordan Matthew Neal, he gets away and runs. And so he was there to make the purchase. He was one of the 2 kids that was there to make the purchase.
Okay.
He and his 18-year-old buddy, who's now deceased. He runs to the cops to tell the cops, we tried to buy some drugs, and they pulled guns on us, and my buddy's dead now. Can you help me? So the cops, of course, arrest him immediately. Now he's going to jail.
We can definitely help you. We can. There's a service we provide that we can provide to you right now.
They're charging him with the death. They're charging him with the drugs. They're charging him with everything. And
bless his heart.
He ran to the police. And the police were like, yeah, this is great. We got a dead body. We got a person associated with the dead body. Problem solved. We don't even need to investigate this.
Yeah, we're not even the bit.
Oh.
He went right to the cops. I was like, they did a bad thing. And can you get me my weed? I never got it.
Before it's over. Because weed is legal in Florida now, right? I got a prescription somewhere.
My buddy had it.
Oh, yeah, it was on him. Okay, by the way, can you get that prescription?
I hate to hear that somebody died. But come on.
Yeah.
Hey, officers, when I was breaking this law, they
you
were
help
mean to
me?
me
They were
about
mean
it.
to me.
Go get them.
Also, can you get my marijuana still? Because they did take my money.
And I gotta tell you guys, I really could get high right now.
I know. This has been a stressful day. I need a
Yeah.
safe... Do you have a safe space for me? We do, in fact, have a safe space.
Especially
Very
for that
safe.
reason.
Well, I
Follow
mean,
me.
safe may be an overstatement, but it's a space.
Yeah, we're out there.
Oh, what else we got going on? We're going to go to Brandon, Florida now.
Oh, Florida. It's like a globe that's just focused in on Florida, and you just kind of spin it a little bit over. Let's focus in on Brandon.
We're going to have a bit of a Venn diagram here, because not just Brandon, Florida, but Chuck E. Cheese in the Hillsborough County, Brandon.
Hillsborough County Chuck E. Cheese, where only good things happen.
On a Saturday. This is back last Saturday.
Looking at you, ball pit.
So, sheriff's office gets multiple calls of shots fired at the Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm sorry, at the Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, at the Chuck E. Cheese,
Where
shots
a
are
kid
fired.
can be a kid?
So, 2 women are getting into a fight at the Chuck E. Cheese.
It started with 2 chicks.
2 women are in a fight. They're pulling each other's hair and whatnot and knocking tables over. And the security guard tries to get the crowd to take the fight outside. That's what it says in the article here. Tries to get the crowd to take the fight outside.
Not with a 10-foot pole am I getting close to this. You guys just roll this on out to the street, please.
At this point, a woman pulls a gun.
What?
Inside a vestibule of the Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm getting the article is a little bit vague, but it sounds like this is off to the side of the main fight because she's in the vestibule, but I'm not sure. And then another woman picks up. All right, so she picks up the gun.
Okay.
And the guard tries to be a hero and get the gun away from her. Apparently, he succeeds, but it gets dropped. And this is one
sitcom moment.
And this is like by the time they're outside the building, the gun gets dropped from her hand. Which is when another woman scoops up the gun. So the security guard doesn't maintain possession of the gun. He just gets it out of her hand. It falls to the ground. It's skittering around. This is serious sitcom stuff.
Yeah.
Some other woman scoops up the gun and fires a shot into the air.
All right, cowboy.
And then I'm guessing she got scared or whatever because she drops the gun and now it's loose again.
Is this gun hot? Like a hot potato?
And then a third woman picks up the gun, puts it inside her car,
Gun
and locks
woman
away. So gun safe. She's put the gun inside her car. No one else can get at it. She's the only woman with 2 brain cells in the place.
All right. Oh wait, my kid's in that car.
So
okay.
So when the police show up and they arrest the other 2 women, they also arrest this third woman who secured the gun because she's got the gun.
Well, if I'm going to get in trouble...
No one got shot the whole time, somehow.
Like, if you're above the must be this tall sign, you're going to jail today. She secured it.
She was the only one there who did something smart, and they arrested her too, but not the security guard who let this gun go wild.
I hope. Oh yeah, it fell out of my hand. It was noisy in here. I hope her mugshot picture is just of this incredulous, just eyebrow raised. Just can you believe this bull? Beep.
Oh my God.
I would not have tried to help if I was going to get arrested.
Chuck E. Cheese wants people to know that the safety of our guests and employees is a #1 priority.
No, it isn't.
I don't believe that's true because I've seen the things you serve there.
Pizza isn't even, edible food isn't even one of your priorities.
You would not serve that food to people who you cared about their health and safety.
We lost the Chuck E. Cheese sponsorship. Oh, they're texting now. They're pissed.
Oh, well. We worked so hard on that.
That's their next game, because there's the skee ball, and there's a whack-a-mole, and it's going to be pick up the gun. Don't drop the gun game.
It's America's favorite game.
Oh, I'm sad again.
Don't drop the gun. All right, our final story of this segment, Stupid Criminal segment today, is an unusual one.
Okay, after I recover from Chuck E. Cheese.
It has a bit of a feel-good element to it.
All right.
So this is up in Beverly, Massachusetts. A gray seal had wandered into a local pond. Gray seals wandering around Massachusetts.
Dogs of the sea, they do what they want.
And so the local authorities attempted to capture the seal. I guess they were going to try to return it to where it belonged. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't get a hold of it. So it had managed to elude police for more than one day as they tried to get a hold of it. At one
I thought
point,
you were going to say an hour. You said a day.
It first appeared earlier this month in Shoe Pond in the city of Beverly, northeast of Boston. The animal is believed to have traveled to the pond from the sea via a river and then through drainage pipes and then eventually ending up at the pond.
I don't like this seal anymore. It sounds creepy.
It became a local attraction, was named Schubert after the pond. Firefighters and wildlife experts used boats and giant nets in an effort to capture the animal on Thursday, but gave up after several fruitless hours.
How is he smarter than us?
Friday morning, early Friday morning, you know the answer to how it's smarter. They're people. I mean, you've seen how stupid people are. Just turn on the television. So early Friday morning, Schubert leaves the pond, crosses a parking lot, and walks up to the police station and turned itself in.
No way! Oh, I realize I'm making you guys look really bad. You made all of that up. There's no way.
No, this is all from the AP, under the oddities section of the AP.
It's like, I mean, if you give me keys to one of the vehicles, I'll just drive myself back. Oh, wow.
The seal was quickly, this is straight from the article, the seal was quickly corralled by a team of wildlife experts, firefighters, and the police department's, quote, entire midnight shift. It showed up. Why were you having so much trouble? It came to you.
Yeah.
This is according to the Beverly Police Department. It took the entire minute.
Yeah. Different, forces.
The department noted that Schubert appeared to be in good health and was, quote, a little sassy in the early midnight.
Waving his paw, talk to the fins or whatever they have.
So they took him to an aquarium, and he's going to be checked out and then returned to the ocean where he belongs.
Till he comes back.
Till he comes back again. Yeah, he's definitely going to do this again.
I love it here.
You guys are great. You're
awesome.
hysterical.
Yeah.
He's going to bring other seals, and he's like, come on, we can totally mess with these humans. They're real dumb. And then they'll give us food and stuff.
Shook and jive. They can't catch you.
And then we turn ourselves in. They'll give us food, give us some great drugs.
Yeah.
And then they'll drop us off in the ocean again. We can do it again.
It's like a spa.
It's like a ride. This is like their version of what is it, Flags? 6 Flags?
You will never get rid of sugar.
You go down this big long tube and into a pond, and then the humans come and they try to catch you, and you avoid them for a while.
Splash. Yeah, you don't have to work that. No, trust me, it is not a lot of work. It's fun.
It's fun.
They're dumb. There's like a bunch of them, and then you go ooh, and they get all excited.
They get really excited. They'll throw you food.
They're adorable. Yeah. Oh.
Winter's coming. I do it every year just before winter. Fattens me up. Give me a nice coat.
Get full. Yeah. They fetch it for you. They're great pets.
They're great. I keep them down by this pond.
The best pets are the ones with badges on them.
They are so funny. All right, on that note, we're going to take a musical break. And when we come back, we'll have some science news for you. Science.
Here you go. Stupid science. Stupid science.
Science. Pew, pew, pew.
Science. It's time for some science news here on Stupid Science. Mm-hmm. JD and Lisa, welcome back.
We are people of our word. If we say we're going to give you stupid and science, we give you stupid and we give you science.
This is our pact.
Yep.
With our audience, and we keep that pact.
Yep. Honorable. Woman's got to have a code.
I gotta have a code. Mm-hmm. First off, in Miami. Where the scientists at the University of Miami. This is an article in. This is actually in CBS Miami's website. Scientists at the University of Miami warned that if we don't act soon, coastal cities and towns will slowly diminish. This article was published September 15th.
A couple weeks ago.
And soon after, this most recent hurricane came in, devastation to the West Coast.
Yep.
The center of the literally drowning cities small towns and cities along the coast. I'm just waiting to see how much of that drains out. Yeah. But it's just the size of the hurricane. I mean, no one event can be attributed specifically to climate change, but hurricanes exist because of temperature, heat coming off the ocean is what gives them strength, and these storms keep getting larger and larger each time. It's like, oh, never seen a storm that large before. And then there's another one.
I think I know why.
Dr. Harold Wanless, a geologist and professor of geography and sustainable development at the University of Miami, is quoted as saying that the tide is coming in and eventually it's not going to go back out.
Whew.
And he said it's raising at... he describes it as that sea level is rising at an accelerated rate because of ice melting in Greenland and Antarctica.
Yeah,
and so now
chunks are just falling in the water.
Yep, and so now we've covered that several times. So for now, what is just a high tide, a rare high tide, is going to become a frequent high tide. And we've seen that here in Key West, where we live, with what we call king tides. Those would be when there's a full moon and a high tide occurring at the same time. Right. In other events, it would cause the high tide to be extra high. And there would be flooding associated with that, abnormal flooding. But now that's pretty much all the time we get those.
That level is
just the normal,
Great. So I should try to evolve and have gills pretty soon?
I believe that was the prediction. That was that
Waterworld?
Waterworld, yeah, but who was
Costner.
That was Costner, right.
Tried to tell us. He's a prophet.
Yeah, he tried to warn us all.
Mm-hmm. I'll get on that.
So according to this research, to Dr. Wanells, Wanells, Wanells. Yeah. Oh no, and then trust the Miami Herald, or CBS Miami rather. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Miami Herald. It's spelled two different ways in two different places in this article.
It's choose your own adventure when it comes to pronouncing this doctor's name.
In one place is Dr. Harold Wanless, and another place is Wanells. I'm going to go with Wanless just because that seems like the more
likely spelling.
But who's to know? Who can say for sure? Certainly not CBS News.
They gamble.
But despite the typo, which we all make, by the year 2060, nearly 60% of Miami-Dade County will be underwater. I'm going to repeat that. According to this research from the University of Miami, by the year 2060, nearly 60% of Miami-Dade County will be underwater.
That's nothing. That's 40 years. That's nothing.
According to Wanless, now since the ice melt started, we're up to a rate of almost 2 feet per century.
Well, we're at Florida is at sea level.
So anyway, that's happening in Science News. A new report out of University of Miami there.
Very expensive oceanfront property in Miami.
Right. That Orlando, good on the silver lining there. That landlocked property you have in Orlando is about to become beachfront property. So
just wait. Just a little bit of patience.
Yep.
Buy it now. You'll retire to oceanfront property.
Those of you spending $1 million or more for property in Key West.
Yeah.
And let's see what else we got going on here. In more positive news, our next couple of stories are more positive.
Than drowning?
Let's
see. We'll see. I'll be the judge.
Penn State University.
Heard of him.
Has some new insights into how feet work.
Human feet?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Apparently, there's a lot of open questions and unproven assumptions, scientifically speaking, about how the human foot and the mechanisms around it, how it evolved, how it functions exactly, keeping us balanced. New research from Penn State's Department of Kinesiology challenges long-held beliefs about how feet evolved and function and may contain implications for shoe designers.
I'm not opposed.
The joints where a person's toes meet the remainder of the foot can bend in two directions. Plantar flexing is when toes bend down like they do if a person tries to pick something up with their toes. And dorsiflexion is when the toes bend upwards, the way they do like when you're pushing off the ground.
Got it.
The other direction than the one I just previously described.
Couldn't hurt to over-explain. Using scientific terms for parts of the body, we kind of glaze over, so it's just helping. Little extra words didn't hurt.
Basically, they're learning through this study that was done at Penn State University. They're learning how the foot operates between the toes and the arch of the foot.
Interconnectivity between those two.
And a lot of what they thought the mechanics of it was not true. This study has actually found that in some cases the way the arch is operating is the reverse of what they thought.
Okay.
And they're saying that this is going to affect plantar fascia and shoe design and everything because they've been trying to, for people who have that problem and other issues, they've been developing resolutions for that problem based on a false assumption about how the arch operates.
It's operating.
So.
Oh, fascinating. Thanks. I need all the help I can get.
So they've figured that much out over at Penn State University. They're helping your feet get better.
Awesome. And really understanding how it works.
And how it works, yes.
All right, I'm glad somebody is. Been lied to. That's right. You heard it here first. We've been lied to about how our feet works. But today we're here to tell you what they don't want you to know. I don't know.
All right.
A lot of editing.
Meanwhile, we're going to move over to University of Minnesota.
Minnesota.
A team of University of Minnesota Twin Cities scientists and engineers has developed I don't know why they have to say Twin Cities every time.
They're so proud of that.
Anyway.
I get it.
They have developed a first-of-its-kind plant-inspired extrusion process that enables synthetic material growth. Or to simplify it, they've made robots that grow like plants.
Thank you.
The new approach will allow researchers to build better soft robots that can navigate hard-to-reach places, complicated terrain, and potentially areas within the human body.
I just wrote an entire horror movie in my head just now.
So,
thanks for that.
No problem. We're here to help. This paper describing all of this is published in the Proceedings of. This is the title of the journal: The Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, or PNAS, as it's known for short. It is a peer-reviewed scientific journal. Apparently, Chris Ellison, a lead author of the paper and professor at the University of Minnesota. It says it every time. University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, Department of Chemical Energy. Why do they have to say Twin Cities? Anyway, Chris Ellison, he said, quote, "This is the first time these concepts have been fundamentally demonstrated. Developing new ways of manufacturing are paramount to the competitiveness, blah, blah, blah. On the robotic side, robots are being used, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, it goes on to marketing.
Yeah. When we try to keep the robots away, here's a new way that they grow that they can get in anyway.
Right. They developed a new means of extrusion, this team at University of Minnesota, a process where material is pushed through an opening to create a specific shape. That's what extrusion is. All right. So using this new process allows the robot to create its synthetic material from a liquid instead of a solid. So like a 3D printer is an extrusion process.
Yeah.
You'll put a block of whatever into it, and it will, protein or plastic or whatever, and it'll turn it into whatever shape you've programmed it into. So now instead of having a block of something, this is using a liquid.
Yeah.
And
viscous, more malleable.
The first author on the paper, Matthew Hosladen.
However they spell his name. No, I'm pretty sure this journal.
Yeah. This is not CBS. This is not CBS. This is coming to you from Tech Explorer. Is the name of the magazine. But again, this is published in PNAS. So, now I lost that quote. Oh yeah, Matthew Hosladen, first author of the paper and a PhD student at, again, the University of Minnesota Twin Cities Department. They say the whole thing every time. We were really inspired by how plants and fungi grow. We took the idea that plants and fungi add material at the end of their body, either at their root tip or at their new shoots, and we translated that into an engineering system.
That's actually fascinating. That's a great scientific way of looking at, interpreting, and application.
Yeah, it does mimicking nature, right? Which is how a lot of invention is done, by mimicking nature. But this is a really interesting application of it. Important part of this project, this is another quote from Ellison. A very important part of this project is that we have material scientists, chemical engineers, and robotic engineers all involved by putting all of our different expertise together. Blah blah blah. And it goes on about collaboration. A fascinating thing. So basically, that they can put whatever shaped robot into a narrow space, squeeze the liquid into it, and then the machine at the end is going to squeeze out more and more and more, like a toothpaste tube, and it'll shape it into whatever they need. Whether they need it to be a wire, or they need it, or it's a larger space, and they can make something larger, whatever. But that's fascinating.
The surfaces and places that are difficult to maneuver in. You mentioned the human body might be one of the places to use it. That's one of the most difficult places to, once you're inside, then maneuver and reach and wrap around and go under, etc. All right.
Yeah, getting up into our final story. We go over to medicine.
All right.
This is in Science News, sciencenews.org.
You tried to drown me. You tried to have a plant-based robot wrap around my heart. Now I'm ready for the third story.
Oh, you went right to the heart. This is the opening line of this article. A mucus wicking robotic pill may offer a new way to deliver meds. It's a multivitamin-sized device.
In your intestines, that might be useful.
Right. So it's a pill. You swallow a pill. And inside the pill, there's a tiny, tiny motor and space to put drugs, including some that you normally would have to give via injection or intravenously, like insulin or whatever. But now, because it's got this little pill with a motor inside, they can
maneuver and burrow, and especially in parts of your digestive tract.
The pill uses surface grooves, studs, and torpedo-inspired fins to scrub away intestinal mucus like a miniature brush, whirling inside of a bottle.
Perfect.
They've done experiments on pigs. The RoboCap, that's what they're calling it, the RoboCap. It tunneled through mucus lining the walls of the small intestine, depositing insulin or IV antibiotic along the way.
Perfect.
There were reports about this in Science Robotics in September 28th. After turning for about 35 minutes, the pill continued its trip through the gut and eventually out of the body.
Do anything, and also without you missing the benefit of the medicine.
Right.
Yeah. It's something your intestines are basically a water hose with little hairs on the inside and cilia, and that's the job of those little hairs, actually, to help move food and particles along and kind of wiggle and scrub away some of that mucus. But once mucus gets thick enough, those hairs can't do their job, and you swallow a pill and it goes right through it, or you eat an apple thinking you're going to get a lot of the nutrients, and you don't get as many nutrients as you could. I'm looking at you people with celiac. So this is really a great achievement, because what is the point of taking meds that help you if when it gets to your intestines, it doesn't touch the intestinal wall? Bravo, scientists.
Science. Indeed. And on that note,
on the intestinal wall note?
On the note of the intestinal wall. So there's some medicine. That's a good leap forward in medicine there. A little robotic, a little chemistry there.
That is very, very good. Very, very helpful. Fun this stuff.
We're gonna wrap up this week's show. This month's show. Thank you for listening.
We love you.
And remember, with this hurricane coming through, lots of people are in jeopardy.
Recovery is happening now.
If you want to help out but you're not sure how, volunteerflorida.org.
It's a great site.
All one word, volunteerflorida.org. There's ways to donate on there. This is all what they do. They support people all the time, not just hurricanes but other things, but they're focused on Florida, and they will know exactly what to do with the resources that are needed.
Exactly.
And if everybody in America donated $5 to them each, that would be all the money they needed.
And if they need help, at food drives or whatever, it's a great organization. I have gone there years and years ago, and organizations reach out to this one organization. So,
right. And if you're needing help and you live in Florida, this is an organization to go and find resources at.
Absolutely.
On that, all right, so thank you for listening, laughing and learning with JD and Lisa. We've had a great time. You're a wonderful audience. All of you out there listening, spread the word. Come again next month. You can always, wherever your favorite podcast place is, you can download JD and Lisa. Stupid Science.